any question that you might have, please feel free to put it there. All right, give me 2 minutes. I'm still adding people, so maybe better that we wait a couple of minutes for everybody to join in. I think it's maybe the most people we have seen. It's not related to the crypto price, I believe. All right, so let's start, and I will keep adding some people. So welcome everyone. My name is Maxime. I'm the CMO of Atato, and at Atato we are the organizer of this meetup since beginning of 2019. Every month we do a meetup about cryptocurrencies and blockchain in general, technical and non-technical meetup. Tonight, we have a great pleasure actually to co-organize this meetup with La French Tech. So for people who don't know, Etienne is going to introduce who is La French Tech and why they are co-organizing this meetup. But as you can guess by my accent, that it's related to us. This meetup, we have a lot of new people. We are going to talk about cryptocurrencies and the digital asset space in Thailand. And we will try to be quite general tonight. So I apologize for the developers and people who are actually very acquainted with blockchain. Tonight it's for actually a new crowd. And since we have a lot of new people in the digital asset space, we are going to actually talk about what's going on. And I think people already have a lot of questions. So we're going to start. Etienne, the president of La French Tech Bangkok, is going to be the moderator and the organizer of this evening. So Etienne, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Maxime. I'm not going to be super long as an intro. I'm Etienne. I'm head of business development of DFDL in real life, which is a regional law firm sitting in Bangkok. And as a hobby, co-president of La French Tech Bangkok, basically a community of people who love to talk about tech, meet each other in real life when it's possible, and online when it's impossible. Normally, we like to organize these kind of events. I mean, we are normally at the initiative of these kind of events, but as it was the opportunity tonight, I got surprisingly invited to be the host of tonight's event. I'm pretty honored and happy to do that. I guess I've been invited because I was the stupid guy who didn't know anything, who's going to ask all the stupid questions for you guys. Just as a way to, I mean, how this event is going to roll up. So we have a chat on the side. If you don't see it now, you can click on the chat button and it will appear. If you have questions to our speakers, please use the chat. And either it's like opportunistically super relevant to what we're discussing right now, and I'll pick some of them on the spot, or we'll leave these questions for the end and the Q&A part, and yeah, we'll be able to exchange with the speakers that way. All right, let's jump right into it. Maybe as a normal procedure, I will ask the speakers to introduce themselves and maybe explain a little bit, like who they are first of all, what they do, and how they got into cryptocurrencies and digital assets in the first place. Maxime, would you like to start?
I think we'll start with Jen to be.
Okay.
All right, Jen, ladies first. Right?
I'll take it. Thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies. I am so glad that even during COVID time, everyone still join forces and come here together, you know, in the spirit of cryptocurrency and whatnot. So let me introduce myself. My name is Jen Buakaew. I am the Chief Operating Officer for the newly launched exchange called ZCOMX. Now, ZCOM Exchange has been operating for the last 2 months. We operating under the Thai jurisdiction, which is under the Thailand SEC and also the Ministry of Finance as well. Who we are actually part of GMO Internet Group. Now, GMO Internet Group is very similar to True Corporation, equivalent in Thailand scale. But GMO Internet is based in Japan. We have got our own cryptocurrency exchange in Japan, and we also do our own stable coins. Yen, this is the first ever Japanese yen stablecoin that ever come about in the world. Currently, it's being listed on Liquid Exchange, and I believe that within this week, or if not the latest, would be next week, that we will be on Binance as well. And the other coin that we also do or issue under the GMO Trust is ZUSD. So ZUSD is basically another stable coin pegged to a 1-to-1 ratio to the US dollar. Meaning, if you guys are new, like if it's a stable coin, means if I wanted to issue out one token, let's say G yen, I need to have one Japanese yen sitting inside of a room in a vault. So that's the stable coin, or the idea of stable coin anyway. So that's what we've been doing within our group of GMO. But in Thailand, where I am at, we actually run a centralized exchange. And as I said before, under the SEC Thailand, and we're fairly new, but we are open for all. So whether you are a Thai national or you are a foreigner, you can actually come on board and try our exchange, subject to, of course, the onboarding and KYC process requirement. So how do I get into this whole crypto? I'm super excited, and obviously I have gone through the ups and downs time, I would say, within the crypto space. I've been in the industry for about 6 years. So I've gone through the 2017, the bust of ICO. Everybody wanted to issue a coin, right? And then it crashed. And then I went quiet for a little bit in 2018. But here I am, 2021, working as in the Chief of Operating Officer for this particular exchange in Thailand. So not to make it long about who I am, but basically I'm just Jenny from the blockchain. I live and work on the blockchain, and I truly believe that we are here together on a movement, and this is going to be something that is going to be mainstream, or already is mainstream. So welcome everyone, and thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jen. Great enthusiasm. Who should go next? Maxime, you want to go ahead, or Vincent?
Sure, I can go ahead. And yes, welcome everybody. My name is Maxime Paul. I'm the organizer of this meetup, but I'm also the CMO of atato. Atato, we are a blockchain software company, I would say a digital asset technology company based in Bangkok since 2017. What we have been doing, we actually develop blockchain applications for digital asset businesses and enterprises, especially financial institutions. Our whole team is in Bangkok. Our office is on ASOC. With the blockchain space being new, but growing very fast, we have been growing as well. So we have been working with several financial institutions here, but also in Singapore and in Europe. And we are more on the tech side, I would say, than the crypto side, but we have seen as well the ups and downs of the crypto. And so I'm the organizer of the meetup. I'm the CMO of atato, and atato is recruiting, by the way. So we are looking for talented people to join us to fuel our growth. And so how I've been into crypto actually quite early, I would say in 2013, when it was one of the previous up of crypto. I've seen the up and down. I've seen the depression, people saying that blockchain was useless. I saw people very excited, and I joined Jenny on the side that I feel that this year is a bit different to what we have seen in 2017 and 2013. We're going to explain about it tonight, but basically, I think it's going to be almost 9 years that I've been in the space. So thank you very much, Etienne, and looking forward for the discussion.
Okay, well, I'm Vincent. I'm a French qualified lawyer. And in Thailand, I'm the founder of Belaws, which is a legal tech platform that optimizes the workflow for clients and lawyers. We basically work as international law firms. And from Thailand, we expand to Singapore, Hong Kong, Cambodia, Vietnam, and France. So my background was to work with international law firms. I used to be with Baker McKenzie before, and I work highly on banking and finance and private equity. So basically, when we got the first wave of ICO, we got this kind of request that basically wanted to do ICO. We got all these people that were raising millions in a couple of hours. and all saying that this is crazy, this is not regulated. And as a banking lawyer, I knew that it's not because there is no specific law that is not regulated. And actually existing laws, to some extent, will catch up those ICO and SEO things. And I believe you also in the 2018, 2019, a lot of companies have been prosecuted. Some people have to reimburse the amount they raised. I think Telegram, they have to reimburse almost 1 million USD and got fined a couple of million of USD from the SEC. So how I got to crypto, basically this is by the legal way. And then when I start to see this ICO, STO wave, I say, why not me? Because at that time, I mean, it seems like it's sufficient to create your coin and to have it list and basically make you your own exit even before you sell your product. So we try to develop with some partners a platform quite technical. So I won't speak too long about this. But basically, to mine crypto, there is proof of work or proof of stake. And back in the day, proof of stake seemed to be promising. So we were trying to do something around those lines. But then we got hit by the crisis, become a bit quiet. And now, as Jen and Maxime said, it seems that, during this, what we call the crypto winter, we got the bad guy, I would say, or the let's say project who disappears, and only the passionate ones who stay. And now we start to have more and more practical applications. One of them is something we worked recently about is the possibility to buy real estate with Bitcoin in Thailand. It's something we will go a bit in details later on. And it's really exciting time to be alive, and we hope that with this presentation you could basically see and a practical example of use of crypto and blockchain technologies in Thailand.
All right, fantastic. I guess we'll have the opportunity during the course of the discussion to go into more details about specific use cases, specific kind of applications for the blockchain technology, etc. Please, for our speakers, as a rule and courtesy to our audience who might not be so familiar with the space, please define the acronyms that you use at least the first time, and that will hopefully facilitate comprehension for everyone. All right. I mean, to jump right into it, let's start with the basic question that probably a lot of people are asking themselves: what the heck is happening in the blockchain space these days, and why is everyone suddenly so excited over crypto? I mean, where is my Lambo? Yeah. I mean, especially I think lay people like myself are asking themselves like, what the heck is going on? So, would you, Vincent, since you were the last one to speak, would you like to give your first impressions, and maybe we'll ask the other speakers about that after that?
Well, my impression on this is there is two things. The first thing is people thought that blockchain and crypto was just a bubble and will disappear. They've been proved wrong because people in the crypto sphere still working really hard to improve the technologies. One big one is what we call DeFi, which is a decentralized exchange, but we will talk about this later on, but this is really, really hot topic right now. And the second part is actually the economic situation and the COVID. I believe that because a lot of people in the West who stay home got paid, people trade. And we've seen that the stock market increased a lot, and the same happened to the crypto sphere. And there is no direct correlation, but this is my own opinion. But I believe that the American policy with a lot of dollars that have been spread out around middle class has been invested in crypto. People making quick return, plus the announcements of a Biden to have 3 trillion billion of USD plan, which basically end up printing a lot of money will have as effect to devaluate the value of the dollar. And we got big companies, the first one like Tesla, who got a million of USD in cash reserve. And to cope with the risk of losing the value of the USD, decided that it may be a good strategy to put this cash in crypto money. And I believe that other companies will follow, but those big companies have some legal compliance to go through, like having a board meeting to decide whether they could such investment. So I have the tendency to believe that in the coming months, we will have a lot of big companies doing the same, and potentially having an effect on the value of Bitcoin and other crypto.
Okay, very good. Jen, you would like to give your take on it?
Okay, why is everybody excited about this whole crypto market again, right? The three main contributing factors, I believe. First of all, when you've got someone that is regarded as the most intelligent and coolest influencer, someone who's extremely successful like Elon Musk, that power level of that global scale of his influence, and when he talks about it, definitely that brings the confidence. And we all know that everybody uses social media, right? And it's gone viral. It has helped so much in terms of that mass adoption. So thanks to Elon for that. But it's not just that. The other factor that I believe is that a lot more companies, let's say MicroStrategy, Tesla, actually keep Bitcoin in their balance sheet. What does it say? It actually says that Bitcoin during the years has proven itself to be one of the most attractive in terms of alternative assets compared to the traditional assets that we've got. So Bitcoin is actually outperforming a number of those assets. So a lot of institutions, the serious guys with the suits, they're all now coming in. And therefore that means, as a result, the whole market has gained that confidence as well. And the third one, this one is very, very interesting to me, is because I feel like there's a shift in the social movement. Right now is the time for Generation Z or Generation Z, or these young people. They have got different mindset. They have got different perspective. They want what do they care about? They don't actually care much about the money side. They care about being able to relate or relatability. Right? So when someone's talk about a meme coin, Dogecoin, this coin that comes out with this cute puppy, people think of it as a cool thing. And for the young generation, that they wanted to be perceived that they are part of this culture of being cool, they jump in as well. So I think these three contributing factors about having the influencer, such as Elon Musk, having all these institutions, the traditional finance people joined in and actually reserve Bitcoin in their balance sheet, and also having all these young generation participating, being part of this culture of being cool for the fact of this relatability that I have just mentioned before. So I think these three factors has actually got everyone talking about cryptocurrency and is non-stoppable, which is a good thing because I'm pro crypto. Over to you.
In case some people didn't notice yet, Maxime, would you like to give us your analysis on the current situation?
Yeah, I will try to make it short and broad, just to give you a comparison to what we have seen since 2013, I would say. In 2013, Bitcoin was a very niche thing. It was easy to buy drugs with it on Silk Road and those kind of things. And it was the narrative, it was something used by the geeks, the anarchists, and people for buying illegal things online. And it fueled the Bitcoin price at that time, but crashed down very hard as well. 2017, Ethereum came out. There was a potential of new application, new financial application. We talked about ICO, which is called initial coin offering, which for the first time, everybody could actually invest in a project without going through a bank or anything like that. So it was a great movement. A lot of people invested in it. There was some very good projects, some very bad ones. So when you have everybody investing in everything, it's creating a bubble, right? But the underlying technology was actually getting built. What we have seen since 2017 until today, when nobody was talking about crypto because the market was down, is that actually the engineers, the blockchain developers built real applications that we are just seeing popping up today. As Jen mentioned, it is also fueled because Fortune 500, the companies like Tesla or MicroStrategy are actually buying Bitcoin as an edge with the upcoming inflation that we are going to see on the US dollar. So I think all in all is just a building of the blockchain technology and the blockchain ecosystem, and also a legitimization of Bitcoin as a real asset class for companies. Today we are going to talk about it, but today the banks are going into the space. Every financial institution has a blockchain project going on. So this is really legitimating the industry.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that's actually the next question on my list. Would you be able to elaborate a little bit on whether the excitement over cryptocurrencies these days is somehow like a reflection of new progresses or new developments of the blockchain technology or technologies in themselves, or is it just like completely unrelated and there has been like basically a lot of excitement over just the financial value of this of the cryptocurrency as a parallel phenomenon, basically? What's going on in the technology space these days? Have we seen a lot of changes since 3 years ago?
Yes, the short reply is yes. However, is the price following the technology? I'm not sure. I think there is a lot of hype around the cryptocurrencies. Prices are going up, so people get really excited and interested in it. However, yes, the technology has been built. Today, there is more than 1 million developers working on Ethereum. There is this new things called decentralized finance, which popped up last year. Basically, for people who are not familiar with the space, it's people are replicating the financial system on the blockchain, and you don't need an intermediary actually to participate to it. So those things were not possible 2 or 3 years ago. So it's a new technology. Even if Ethereum is 6 years old, it's still a new technology. And I believe since every company and every financial institution is working on blockchain, it is following up. After that, if the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum is related to the advancement in the technology, I'm not really sure. I think it's a part of hype as well.
Okay, excellent. Jen, I understand you're more focused on the cryptocurrency side of things, but would you be able to tell us a bit more about the evolutions you've been seeing in the space in terms of technology, and maybe, for example, like explain to us a little bit what are the different technologies supporting these different kind of coins today. Basically, give us a brief recap.
I would say that because just basically what Maxime had mentioned earlier, you're just seeing more stuff that has come out and it become available in the market. Like before, people were familiar just with Bitcoin, blockchain, Stellar blockchain, you know, the typical ones or the major ones. And now we've got like so many out there. You've got Polkadot, you've got Solana. Solana is another one, is a blockchain that comes up with like very high level as in terms of the transaction that it can do per second, you know. So Solana comes out, people build their blockchain. Binance Smart Chain is definitely a game changer. People could see that because Ethereum has got this drawback of the gas fee. You know, for those of you who are not familiar with the crypto space, in order for you to transfer, let's say, 1 Ethereum to your friend, you need to actually pay for the fee, and we call it as a gas fee. So Ethereum gas fee has become extremely expensive. And now Binance Smart Chain by, ZSAT came about. The technology keeps changing, and then people doing more things like, okay, I'm going to have a coin that can be used on both ERC20 and then Binance Smart Chain or this Core Chain coming up as well. So because of things are moving with the applications and DeFi has come about, which is decentralized finance, with more applications that coming through, the tech side in terms of the blockchain side as well, I've seen that there's a lot more in terms of the development. And I think that is one of the contributing factors But as Maxime said, again, a lot of it, you really need to research because there's so much hype or these big jargons, the big words about the tech. You know, sometimes it kind of lure you in to believe that it's something more than what it is. So I think it's one of the contributing factor that actually has driven the market, but I don't believe that is one of the top ones. I believe more so that the influencer such as Elon Musk and also the social movement, and because of the institutions, the people, traditional finance that come in, that actually build up the confidence in cryptocurrency.
Jen, if I can just rebound on what Jen is saying, just to complete one thing, for people who are not really familiar with the crypto space, you hear names of different blockchains. Sometimes it's extremely difficult to know what is doing what. It's like at the beginning of the internet, right? There was some neutral protocol, some technology being built for the network to work, basically. And those different projects, the technology is still evolving. People are trying new things. They try to improve things from Ethereum, Bitcoin, and so on. So it's still going to take some time before we have, let's say, 3 to 4 major blockchains. We are taking 90% of the value. So it's still being built. There is still a lot of opportunities to invest in, and there is still a lot of things which are going to die and will never recover.
Okay, interesting. Vincent, would you like to give us your view on what's going on more on the application side of things? If you see any kind of correlation with the huge bump in the financial world?
Oh, I think it's been summed up quite well already.
Okay, and so maybe you can give us more of your insights from the regulatory side, because this is really your field of expertise. Do you feel like if we compare to the state of the environment 3 years ago, back in 2018, 2017, have you seen a lot of evolution in terms of regulations? Maybe we can take a different scale, compare what's going on in Thailand, Southeast Asia, maybe globally, if you have this kind of granularity in your analysis.
Yes, so basically, Thailand was one of the first countries to issue specific regulation for ICO first. So in 2018, they released a full ICO regulations, and basically it didn't work out because the regulations they put in place basically killed the idea of doing an ICO, and it was correlated with the end of the burst. So this basically didn't really work out. But since this time, Thailand regulator have been quite open to crypto. They issue a set of regulation for to have exchange regulated. Maybe Jen could say a bit more on this, because she's been through the hassle, I would say, to obtain a license from the SEC. But this works well. And what is really interesting, if we compare with other countries, is basically the Thai bank followed. Meaning that if you cash out crypto from a Thai exchange and have it transferred to your Thai bank account, it works smoothly. While in newest countries like France, like Canada, like USA, you will have your bank freezing your account. They will have your bank monitoring every transfer coming from exchanges. And on this, Thailand is really in advance, and it works really well. Another issue that has been taken into account quite quick is what about tax? If you generate income through crypto, how are you taxed? At first, it was
people want to know.
Right?
People want to know what's going to happen.
Yes. Well, so basically, at first, it's been discussed to have VAT on crypto trade. This wasn't practical at all, and this has been removed. Which is a good point, but this has to be clarified. And the other point is obviously you personal income tax. So if you trade as an individual, you subject to tax. Once again, you have to assess the tax at the end of the year. I don't think everybody do it, but by law it should be done. We don't have any regulation yet. Maybe it will come for capital gain. When you do capital gain by trading on stock exchange in Thailand with traditional stocks, there is no personal income tax. Maybe this may come with crypto one day, but as of today, not yet. And the second part, which is really interesting, is Thailand is still issuing new regulations. And the last one that's been issuing this year is about the regulation to what we call a digital portfolio manager. So basically, until recently, providing advice on crypto trade wasn't specifically regulated. Now it's under the SEC. So if you provide advice on trades, you need to be registered with the SEC. And the last point, we don't have a lot of information on this yet, but the Thailand Stock Exchange recently announced a 3-year plan. And in the plan, they specify that they would like to, they plan to develop their own digital asset trading platforms. So this is something to follow. How this will compete with traditional exchange, or is it a way for traditional companies like a second or alternative market to list the securities that will be in the digital way? This is something really interesting to follow, but it shows that Thailand has a great interest and is not limited, but actually encouraging crypto. I
see. Vincent, you wrote very recently an article about the fact that it was apparently possible to now pay in cryptocurrencies your real estate, your apartment, your house. Does that mean that the regulations have become flexible enough to allow this kind of things? Like, how does it work basically as a very concrete use case?
Well, on this, it was quite funny because I got a tag on Facebook with someone asking, can we buy crypto? Can we buy real estate with Bitcoin on crypto? And I said, well, let's us make our researches. So there is no special regulation about this, but as a matter of practice, if you analyze different scenarios, and if the buyer is crypto friendly, you will be able to buy properties in crypto. The small issue will be when you have to transfer ownership at the land office, where we have to pay the fees in fiat. Fiat means Thai baht or normal currencies. But otherwise, from buyer to seller, you can. There is one big limit to that, but I will post the article on this. Is when foreigners want to buy a condominium in Thailand, is they want to buy it and own it as under the foreign name. By law, they need to transfer money from abroad. So you have to be like non-Thai currency transfer abroad. And the document that they checked at the land office is basically the FET, which is a transfer form from the bank showing that there is foreign money transmitted in Thailand that basically equals the value of the property you're buying. And we could do the same with an exchange, basically, and have documents on the blockchain actually proving the transfer from a wallet and then having it transfer into a Thai bank account. But as of today, this is not accepted. Maybe something we could lobbying a bit because this could boost the real estate market.
You're saying that Jen is going to offer real estate tokens on the exchange?
Can you tell us more about this, Jen?
At this point, we don't offer any new tokens as yet. Our approach is a bit different, I guess, because obviously we're just the new kid on the block in the Thai landscape for crypto exchanges. We wanted to make sure we understand that a lot of people are super excited about getting into crypto, buy Dogecoin and become a millionaire tomorrow. Right? We've seen that before because we've been here for a long time. We've seen that how it could also possibly end up. And therefore, the approach that our crypto exchange, Zap.com exchange, has taken is a bit different in a sense that we could potentially list hundreds of coins tomorrow if we want to. But we chose to actually list right now only 6 cryptocurrencies, of which we super sure that we have done all our full due diligence so that we can protect. I mean, I think we just take it in an approach where we have our duty of care as well, that whichever coins or tokens that we put on our platform, they are the products that the risk will still be there because it's cryptocurrency, or even you go into the stock market. But we just wanted to make sure that we do it with care and that we actually care for our customers. knowing that there are so many newcomers that has jumped in. So we know that there are so many exciting stuff like DeFi or these new coins coming out every day, but we sort of like, let's slow down. Let's just do what's right. And I think because we're looking for a sustainable growth and we wanted to be in the game with the Thai community for a long term. That sounds a bit like an advertising line, right? But yeah, we really wanted to take that approach where we care about our people.
Can you remind us just to finish on Jen? Sorry, Jen, how long do you have how long has it been that you have your license for the exchange?
Believe it or not, we've been working on the license. We have got the broker license and also the crypto exchange operator license. Two of this. It's taken us almost 3 years to get the licenses. And now after we got the licenses, which is a very, the SEC Thailand, they know what they're talking about and they are extremely vigilant with all their checks. So even if we got given the paper, they actually came to our office and making sure that they audit and check, validate everything, including our internal processes and our asset management flows and everything. So it's taken us about almost 3 years. And we've been in the market fully launched for just 2 months. Yes.
Okay.
And just Etienne, on the Thailand, I think most of us, even if there is a lot of French people attending, Thailand is actually a very great place to do blockchain and digital assets. The SEC has been really supportive to actually bring ecosystem for Thai people, regulated one. But also, Vincent mentioned about the Stock Exchange of Thailand, the Bank of Thailand, the SEC, all working together on a different blockchain project. We have also all the major banks that have launched different blockchain projects. So the ecosystem is really different to what we've seen even in the US or in Europe. And actually, it's moving very fast compared to other countries. So people don't really realize that they are in a very great country if they want to deal with digital assets. Just wanted to add that.
Okay, interesting. I guess all this attention that the blockchain and the cryptocurrencies are having these days it has been touched upon a bit earlier, but this also has drawn the attention of these big governmental bodies, central banks, etc. We've been reading in the press recently. This was in the pipe for some time, but that governments, central banks all want now to issue their own coins. They all want to create their own blockchain. I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, the Chinese government announced that they wanted to create like some kind of digital yuan. And now you mentioned a bit earlier that the Stock Exchange of Thailand was thinking of doing the same. How do you think this kind of takeover by the formal institutional bodies is going to change or disturb the landscape? Doesn't that like kind of defeat the primary purpose of decentralized digital assets, to have these kind of formal bodies trying to take control of it?
So I can maybe try to reply to this very broad question. Let's say that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is kind of an anarchist movement at the beginning. So it was to take out the banks, kill the financial system, and take control of our money. I believe it's still the case. However, we live in the world of law, right? And we need to follow the regulations. It's coming, and it's coming everywhere, and it's not going to stop. So it's normal that central banks and other banks are looking at regulating the space. I would say for digital yuan, it's a purpose for China to be able to control the outflows of the money. It's more a centralized currency. It's not really a cryptocurrency at all. But other countries in Southeast Asia and Europe are trying to call what we call a central bank digital currency. And we do believe that actually it's one of the missing pieces that we don't have yet, which will bring actually mainstream adoptions. Because today, if you want to send crypto to your friends, he needs to have a wallet on his mobile, right? He needs to be already acquainted with cryptocurrency. It's not easy for everybody. So you need to have a wallet on your phone. And so far, I believe that maybe less than 5% of the population has a wallet, a crypto wallet on his phone. However, if we see a central bank digital currency coming, controlled by the states, you will be able to exchange Thai baht or any other currencies directly to your friends, and you will have a wallet on your phone. You will be able as well to receive other cryptocurrencies. And I think it's really going to push massive adoptions the day that we see a real central bank digital currency coming to the country. And we might see it actually in the next few years. The Bank of Thailand is working hard on this. So I think it's a good thing. There will still be the anarchist part on that side. It's still be there, but it's normal that the big banks and the central banks are joining the movement. It's good. It's actually a normal follow.
Vincent, is it something that you pay attention to, how the space is going to be influenced by this kind of takeover of these large institutions?
I don't think it's a takeover. It's basically, I will say, an evolution of the money. So we used to exchange things. Then we got gold. Then we got paper bills. Then we moved to bank transactions, where we basically don't really use any paper money. And this virtual currency basically won't become a type of asset like Bitcoin. We can get increase in value. It will just be for paying goods, so it will have the same value of yuan. China may also have a fork on controlling transactions, but as a matter of fact, they already do, because people they mostly pay with digital payment using WeChat in China, so it won't change much. I think the main point, as Maxime said, is about cross-border transactions with yuan. This will be really interesting to see. In terms of technical side, we don't really know, or I don't know, maybe you know, but I haven't seen anything about the blockchain technology that we use. So we still don't really know about this. But we have to remember that the main point of crypto money at first was to have something decentralized. And crypto is moving even further. Once again, we discuss this after with the decentralized exchange. And here we got a virtual money which is fully centralized, meaning that it's controlled.
For Jen, for yourself, do you see these movements as some kind of upcoming competition or a threat for your own activity?
I just think this is actually empowering for cryptocurrency. Have you guys heard the saying, like, first they ignore you, then they're kind of against you, and then they join you? Basically, this is actually what's happening right now. At first, when Bitcoin came about, all the bankers would say like, no, definitely not an asset, so forth. And then they're sort of against, basically completely negative about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general. And now they realize that this is definitely coming. And obviously they need to be able to survive as well, just like any other businesses. I think, the banks are also looking for ways that they can also get in. Now back to this, central bank digital currency that a lot of countries are trying to do. I feel that, like a lot of you guys were saying before, in my heart, I am probably not a fan, because it's kind of like contradictory to what Satoshi Nakamoto is the guy or the team or collective group of people that created Bitcoin. Just for those of you who are not aware, the whole concept of cryptocurrency is this whole peer-to-peer, this whole decentralized concept. Better economy, fairer economy for everyone. So if all these central bank or governments are going to come in and do their digital yuan, digital whatever currencies, I think it doesn't really go well with the concept. But again, they need to do something, and it's a good thing that they adopt. And we need to live in, like what Maxime said before, we need to flow, and things will have to transition. So in general, for cryptocurrency, I think it's very empowering. It shows that Bitcoin or cryptocurrency has gained that mass adoption so much so that right now, no regulators, no central banks, no government bodies can actually stop it, and therefore they wanted to participate. And I know that a lot of governments actually look into different blockchains, like some, I think, believe the Thai government looking into Hashgraph, with their project, which is like Internon or something, digital currency. That's the name of that project. So I think it's good in a way that these governments sort of come in and engage in the technology or blockchain technology as a whole. But in terms of the idea, I don't like it much, but I guess I have to accept it. That's how it is.
Just if I can add one thing on top, it's funny to see that the banks are coming into blockchain, and now the exchanges, like Jen's ones, are trying to become the new banks. You know, those big exchanges like Coinbase or Binance, they offer loan yield, they offer credit cards. So it's becoming like a new place of financial system, but I believe it's going to be those exchanges like Jen's ones, which are going to be the new banks for our generations.
Like there is more and more interpenetration between the two spaces.
There is more and more financial services offered by exchanges, and you can have a credit card. You can actually deposit your crypto to earn some interest on certain exchange in Thailand. You can get some loans sometimes. So I guess, yes, they are trying to become the banks.
Okay, interesting. I mean, now crypto is obviously the most famous application of the blockchain or the blockchain technology. I would like to focus a little bit more on the other uses or other applications of the blockchain. A lot of criticisms used to say that blockchain was a solution that was looking for a problem. I mean, this was the old joke running. Max, this is really your field of expertise. This is really your job to work on blockchain technology and applications. Could you tell us a little bit more about how the technology is used today by corporations, financial institutions beyond the pure like digital currency model?
Yeah, sure. This is what we did for the past 3 years. That's what we do. First, it was, you know, when blockchain arrived to 2015, 2016, no, I would say even later, 2017, everybody was excited. So all the companies in the world will say, "Oh, blockchain is a revolutionary technology. It's going to change the way we do business," and everybody was ready to pour millions of dollars on developing a blockchain application. And let's be clear, 99% of the time, there was no need for blockchain in their application. So it was the beginning. So people tried and started to understand the technology a bit more. What we are seeing today, and it's not sexy at all, it's actually internal IT system, which are actually where blockchain is actually used to bring down the cost of operations. It's not something that people like to talk about in the media or in any articles, because basically it's technical and there is very few people interested in it. But I will give you an example. Blockchain is really used in the financial industry, once again, especially for settlement of trades, to be able to have a shorter time for settlements, which is sometimes something very costly for companies. We see a lot of applications there. We see a lot of applications for banks who try to actually tokenize assets. Vincent was talking about tokenizing real estate. We had one client who were basically thinking of tokenizing the shipping industry for everybody to be able to buy shares of a ship and actually profit in this business. It's still something that is being built. What we are seeing is most of the banks are working on blockchains today. It's not something you are going to see on the top of the media. It's not really sexy. It's not really interesting if you are not on the tech industry. But now blockchain technology is used by those companies with a clear return on investment. It's happening already. It's increasing. So yes, there is some very useful application for blockchain, and it is being developed today.
And just to give us a brief overview of the type of clients that come to you for these applications, can you give us a brief understanding of?
Yes, so mostly it's banks,
okay.
Financial brokers, also digital asset businesses like exchanges or other type ICOs, portal, and so on. So this is the companies that are looking at blockchain developers. And I would say most of the big clients are also the Ernst & Young, some of the big banks and insurance corporation and so on.
Okay. I would like to turn the question to Vincent. Vincent, you are a lawyer by training, so you know this industry very well. You also know obviously the crypto space very well and the blockchain. Do you see potential or existing applications for the legal space when it comes to blockchain technology?
Yes, one really practical one is escrow service. So escrow service is basically when you want to make a big transactions, let's say buying real estate, and you have a deposit to pay, and depending on the result of the due diligence on the property, you will decide to go forward and pay the seller or withdraw your deposit. While insuring the real estate agency to get their commission or part of it because they still did their job. So basically, we can have all the crypto sent to a smart contract that will basically keep the fund, and upon confirmation by the two lawyers of each parties that the dividend is okay, the fund are automatically released to the seller and the real estate agent take his cut. That's one practical way. The other one is for interest rate transfers. I will for our companies, we have holding companies in Singapore, some also in Thailand and other countries, and it's cheaper for us to transfer money from Singapore going to an exchange using USDT, which is a stable coin, than going through the SWIFT international bank transfer. And actually on this, if you do some interest rate transfer, you may look at this, and in terms of speed, it's faster. So this is another practical applications. Well, and then simply for paying, for paying. And the other thing that's gonna change soon, I still need to see with the accountant how we can book this from my accounting point of view. But it is also gonna be possible to put basically some crypto in your balance sheet of your company. This is also a big evolution.
Okay, very interesting. I still have a couple of questions, and maybe we can take other questions from the floor after that. But I would like to get back on to the financial aspects of blockchain technology when it comes to IPO. The digital version of it, it's the blockchain version of it, which is called ICO. This is not something that is new in itself, because we were talking about this earlier. This has been in the air for some years. A lot of scams have been going on a few years ago in this space. But I would like to understand, basically, now that the environment is structuring itself and is undergoing some regulations. Have we made any progress in that space now that we see? IPOs are still a thing. We hear a lot of noise around SPACs as a faster way now to list companies. Is ICO still around, and has it made any progress as a potential way to list a company today?
Jen, can you talk about your experience with ICO?
ICO, initial coin offering, basically similar to that of IPO, just different. You change the paper to a token, and there you have it. And you just have your white paper instead of the business prospectus. You've got the white paper, and then you raise millions from your garage. That's the sentiment in 2017. And then the bubble bursted, right? Everybody's like, no, it hurt deeply. And now moving to this whole DeFi and everything, to answer the question whether ICO is a thing, I really feel bad for the regulators, because like you said before in the very beginning, Vincent, that the Thai government, the SEC Thailand were extremely proactive in 2018. And they're like one of the very first countries that came up with a regulation to do with the ICO portal. And then as time went by, through the bureaucratic system, and things had to go through approval, being a regulator, and therefore it took quite a bit of time for them until they actually released the full regulations. And once they become available to the public, this whole ICO buzz already disappeared, right? it's really hard for them. And now like people move on to something else. Now people go on to launch pads in order to raise funds. For example, in the past, if you wanted to issue, let's say, a Jenny coin, you can do an ICO, and you come onto like jenny.com ICO website, and then you send me Ethereum, I send you Jenny coin. That's how it worked in the past. Now with the initial exchange offering, this is what's been happening. Like people go to Binance or whatever other leading exchanges, and then they go through a launch pad where they then, have their initial coin offering on the platform of the particular exchange. So that's sort of happening for a fair bit, 2020, 2019. And now with the DeFi, decentralized finance has come about with DEXs. DEX means decentralized exchanges, Uniswap, which is on Ethereum base, or PancakeSwap for Binance Smart Chain base, for example. Now people can go on to these different platforms, or they each actually have their own particular launch pads. Like I think it's called like Polkadot Star or something like that as well. It's one of the names of the launch pad that people can go on to and raise their fund through that. So whether or not it would stay, I believe that right now what I see more and more often is that people don't actually care about raising the initial funding. A lot of people go extremely bold. They would definitely just create hype. They would probably say that they build something, hopefully that they do. And then they will just go on to Uniswap, which is one of the decentralized exchanges. And then they are going to actually list their coins on there directly. So they just skip the part of like, raising capital in the very beginning. And then they just go straight to like, boom, here's the coin available on Uniswap, go get it. So ICO, I think, is a bit outdated, but who knows, in the future, we might be able to look into things like security token offering. I'm not too sure whether it's still a thing, but, a lot of companies were trying to get into that. But again, there are some other things that come about that has taken the attention away. So I think ICO is over. STO probably can still stay, provided that they can actually communicate with the crypto people. Like you're not going to get rich tomorrow. And then the listing through Uniswaps and actually go through launch pads for DeFi. This is the thing that is happening, and that's how people actually get their funding.
And I just want to, because there is a lot of new terms here, just to explain a bit. STO is a security token offering. So it's a bit like an IPO on the financial sense, except that it's done on blockchain. The reason that it's done this way, it's actually cut down the cost of an IPO by 70%. So that's why people are interested when you do initial public offering of your company on a traditional stock exchange. It costs a lot of money to get listed, a lot of paperwork, a lot of people involved, lawyers, accounting firm, and so on. So it's very expensive. So security token offering on blockchain allows you to do basically the same, but for a fraction of the cost. That's where it's interesting. However, it's a regulated thing. So you still need to pass in front of the regulator. ICO, which was an initial coin offering, there was no regulation at all. People were putting a white paper on internet, and if you were feeling good for the project, you could send them some Ethereum or some cryptocurrencies, and you would get one coin. So it was for me, it was an extraordinary thing, because for the first time in history, everybody in front of a computer could invest. You had 14 years old, you had money or no money, you could invest $1, or you could invest 100,000. Everybody was kind of the same in front of the project. And I think it's democracy at its best, right? You could invest without saying, with a banker asking you for a KYC or anything like that. So it was victim of its successes, because basically everybody could invest and not everybody is smart, right? So it's creating a bubble and then it collapsed. But I think it's normal that it's kind of structures now. And you have security token offering, you have decentralized finance. It's a bit of kind of the bubble at the moment. But yeah, so a lot of things are happening in the space. I understand for some people, it's very difficult to follow up. One advice that I will give for people who say, oh, I want to start with crypto, how do I do? Just buy a bit of Bitcoin, a bit of Ethereum, go on an exchange, maybe a Jen's exchange on z.com and start buying. And then you will have skin in the game and you can still be interested in what is it and understanding the project and so on. You need to try to understand and don't be afraid by the terms and everything. So just wanted to add that.
Thanks, Maxime. Good transition to the last question to our panelist. Jen, if you would be to give a piece of advice or several pieces of advice to people who are interested but don't really know where to start, what would that be?
I would say that, first of all, be very patient, but at the same time, be curious is a good thing. It's nothing to be scared about, but you need to be patient, because I've seen a lot of Thai people now wanted to get on, instead of just starting off with buying Bitcoin or some Ripple. Did I just say Ripple or XRP? Here and there. They just jump straight to this whole DeFi and they just go on to this Pancake Swap and all. They actually learn how to start a wallet, like Trust Wallet or MetaMask and all, because they wanted to get into this hype and getting rich quick. And then what happened? They just got scammed, or they just got their wallet hacked. They thought they would go on to Telegram and ask people about how can I actually do this and that. And then people ask them for the seed words. This is for those of you who are not aware. You can actually go and open your crypto wallet on the internet, like Trust Wallet, MetaMask, and then they give you about 12 sets of wording. It could be ice cream or whatever. Or these 12 words that are your secret words. They are called seed words. So a lot of these Thai people wanted to get quick, and therefore they went on to these platforms, starting all these things that they have got quite little knowledge, but because greed has taken over, so they try different things and then they get hurt. So to get to the point of what you should be doing, I think to keep learning, as in we are all self-sufficient, I believe. There's so much information readily available on the internet for everyone. Everybody can research whatever subject you want to. Same as cryptocurrency. And not just read about it, but do try with caution. So for those of you who are extremely new, I would say start with somewhere like My Exchange. And this is not an advertising or anything like that, but start off with a centralized exchange, probably regulated. Because if something happened, for example, if you go on to, there's a case where a Turkish exchange, that is, I don't know about the regulation, Vincent, in Turkey, but obviously it's not similar to Thailand. So this exchange in Turkey last week, the CEO happened to just disappear with billions of dollars, which are somebody else's Bitcoins. Imagine if it's your Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is about 2 million Thai baht.
Don't scare people.
Yeah, and you, if you put your money, with somebody else, like an exchange, make sure that it's somewhere that you can trust, and it's the people that is under the regulators, and not just money grabbers. So best off to start and try to trade cryptocurrency through centralized exchange, regulated exchange. I know it's not as fun, it's not as wild as Uniswap or DeFi or the cryptocurrencies that would make you 1,000 gain overnight. But at least try on that and see how you go. And then if you want to upgrade your skill, slowly do it. And I encourage you to try everything, because that's the beauty of cryptocurrency, and things change every day. I've been in the industry for 6 years, and every day I wake up, I have to actually update my knowledge, because otherwise I would be irrelevant and I would not be able to keep up with the speed of how things are going in the industry. So be hungry for knowledge, try what you can, play safe, start off with something that is regulated before you become a wide crypto whatever, crypto Jen, crypto Vincent, crypto Maxime, and the like. So, but do try and have fun with it and understand your risk.
Okay. Words of wisdom. Vincent, would you like to give us your take on how to start?
Well, I think the first thing is to register to an exchange, and maybe every day, so every 2-3 days, go through Cointelegraph, which is one of the main websites that will release news on about the crypto industry and the blockchain industry, for you to get familiar with some new projects, and put a bit of investment in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in maybe 2 or 3 more risky coins. Follow this closely and learn from that. Overall, I think that there is high chances. I mean, I'm not giving any investment advice, disclaimer, but there is high chance that a Bitcoin value continue to grow, and some underlying like Ethereum and some other good projects, Cardano and others have also a big potential. But once again, you have to learn, and the first thing is just go to an exchange and I saw a question on the chat about how do you start to transfer your fund. Normally, when you go to an exchange, they will give you their bank transfer details, and then you go to your bank app and you simply transfer the fund, or you use TransferWise to transfer the fund to the exchange, and that's it. You got your fiat into the exchange, and from there you can convert it to BTC. One thing that may be surprising at first is you want to buy some crypto and you cannot buy them because you use your fiat, and this is something a bit more complex. But some crypto, they are not paired with fiat, meaning that you need to buy Bitcoin, and with Bitcoin you can buy those other crypto or token like BNC when you are in Binance, or I believe that Gen also have their own token with their own pair on the exchange.
All right. Thank you very much to all speakers. We can probably go through a few of the questions in the chat that haven't been addressed yet. If people in the audience have more questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we will take them one by one. Maxime, how much time do we have for the questions left?
Yeah, we can go ahead. Let's see how many questions there is, and let's make it easy, right?
Okay, great. I wanted to start with the question that was related. I don't know who asked it, but it was related to environmental concerns related to the blockchain into cryptocurrencies. I mean, I think the case for Bitcoin was pretty. I mean, it's pretty well known that Bitcoin transactions consume a lot of energy and are environmentally speaking not very sustainable, or not sustainable at all. What kind of evolutions do you see in the space? Is the problem just about Bitcoin, or is it also like a technology-wide problem?
Okay. Yeah.
Would you like to take this one, Maxime?
We'll adapt Maxime the race.
No, it's true. Mining Bitcoin is not environmental friendly. There is new evolutions of blockchains, on how blockchain works. Basically, when you will own a token, you will be able to become a validator on the blockchain. So this mining process is not going to stay with the other blockchains. Bitcoin has been built this way. When in 2009, when they created it, they didn't think they were expecting such a success. So now it's, of course, creating a lot of, it's an energy-hungry system, but for the other ones, it's called, for people who are a bit technical, it's called proof of stake. Basically, if you own an Ethereum or a Tezos or something like that, you will be able to be a validator, so you would not need to mine and to consume energy to that space. I hope I replied to the questions.
Excellent. Jen, you are so... Oh, Vincent, sorry.
Not just about something that's really serious, but if you want to take the full impact of Bitcoin on environment, you have to compare of the environment impact of running a bank system with several of staff flying from country to countries, not anymore with COVID, but it will come back, or the branches, or the internal system, or the computer, for something that is basically totally automatized for the blockchain. So you would also to compare both systems.
And one thing that Bhavesh is asking on the chat is, do you prefer proof of stake or proof of work? In terms of security, proof of stake is better. And I think this is where the future is going. Ethereum is going to transition to proof of stake at the end of the year or early 2022. This is going to be a major change. You will be able to have your Ethereum to be able to stake it, proof of stake, and you will be able to get some returns out of it. So to believe this is the future of where blockchain technology is going.
Okay, thanks. Jen, you are our super duper expert on the all the different coins that exist on the market. Do you have any visibility on those who are backed by technologies that are more environmental friendly than others? What's your view on the issue?
Environmentally friendly, no, I would not say that that's part of the big decision factor, something that I would consider. I'm sorry if I sound a bit like environmentally not friendly, but you know, when you look into the coins, you don't actually go and look into like how environmentally friendly this coin is, or you know, but just like, yeah, I think that the technology side, things might become better as we progressing through different like type of proof of stake, proof of work, or different things might be coming up. But to answer your question, any other coins that I could recommend that are environmentally friendly? No, I hope that someone will come up with it and use it as a tagline, like this coin is actually green. If you know one, let me know.
That's realistic, at least. Okay, I'm going back a little bit into the questions up. Roland was asking any update about the Ripple case in the US. So I have to admit, for this one, I have absolutely no clue what it means. But
Vincent, you want to reply?
No. I haven't followed this.
So basically, the issue that was Ripple is a cryptocurrency. The token name is XRP. Basically, they are used the same way as Swift for bank. It's very general. And the SEC in US were saying that actually XRP is a security. So they were falling under the securities law. So it was a big debate because Ripple was mentioning that it wasn't. And so it seems that it's not. So the case is still ongoing, if I'm correct. And apparently Ripple is not a security.
I think, yeah, the case is ongoing, but Ripple seem to have that edge as in the lead. If it's like a game or something, you know, Ripple is fighting a good battle. So yeah, it's yet to be unfold as in the end, like how things are going to be. But I think Ripple might actually come out and be deemed as not a security.
And what happened often with the US judiciary system, it's at the end of the day, both parties settle, they pay a little fine, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a little fine.
Well, they're discussing the quality of the token to assess the amount of the fine. But EXP is already widely used between banks.
Yeah.
But they tend to do this. They do a lot with the SEC. They've been fined a lot of foreign banks as well, as long as they can. They don't have the control of something, they don't like it. So it's not only related to the crypto sphere. I think it's a kind of practice from the SEC to act that way.
And one thing I wanted to add on the previous question that Jen replied, how to start with crypto. She's right. In Thailand, the exchanges, Z.com, BitCub, ZipMex, and so on, they are regulated and they are controlled by the SEC. So they are trustable. You can go there, transfer a bit of Thai baht directly on their account and try to buy some coins. You know, when I started with Bitcoin, the first thing we did is actually to buy something with Bitcoin. Because at that time when you could buy some stuff. And we just tried it and it was working and it was a wow moment. And I said, okay, this thing is amazing. I can transfer money to my friends in France without paying the bank's fees, and it's going to be instant. And I think you only learn when you try. So yes. I encourage people to just buy a little bit and try to see what you can do with it. And if you get hooked, then after you are going to pour a lot of money into the space. That's it.
I think that's very, very good one about like, you are right. Like you really need to try it, not just read about it, but actually do it. Then you would know, and then you might get hooked. One of the use cases that I was really happy about is the other day I was able to get the donation from people in a few hours. You know, I put a donation post and to help out the people in India. You know, the situation in regarding COVID in India, like people are dying on the streets because they don't have oxygen. So I felt like, isn't that the idea of this better and fairer economy, a peer-to-peer decentralized way? So I actually raised funds through cryptocurrencies, and I actually sent the funds over to Indian hospital through this way. So that is that moment where I felt like, you know, this job that I have is actually meaningful. Like this, the ability to be able to do this and send the amount of funds in the form of donation to another person in a different country that's super in need with this technology of blockchain without having to go through a lot of things, you know. So I think, yeah, this is one of the use cases, I guess, that I truly really love it about blockchain and cryptocurrency as a whole. And I really want you people to actually try for yourself.
Okay. Another question I'd like to pick up now is maybe about the specificities of the Thai landscape. I mean, we've said a few times already that Thailand was kind of at the forefront of a lot of evolutions in the blockchain space. How does that translate in the private initiatives from local companies? I'm taking the question now from Norton Wang. Like, what are the other Thai projects beside Alpha, Band, Omisego, Atato? What kind of initiatives do you see in Thailand, and how is it different from what you can see, let's say, in Singapore or other countries of the region?
I can pick up on this one since I know some of the companies there. You're right. But first, actually, to have Band, Alpha, Kulap, those kind of companies that are Thai, and which has actually very successful token launches and are very valuable on what they are doing for blockchain. You have to see that Thai people are really into what we call decentralized finance. They are one of the countries that pick up this new system much faster than anybody else. And one thing that we see at atato, you know, for us, what is important is are the developers. And Thai people are actually really into the space. We are very lucky to have a big community of Thai blockchain developers and young people actually aspiring to become blockchain developers. So it's only the first project that we are seeing, Alpha, Band, and others, but there is a lot to come, especially in the decentralized finance space. And I do my publicity. One thing, if there is some young Thai blockchain developers which are looking to build the new digital asset technology, please contact me. We are looking for new talents to join us. Sorry.
All right, very good. Just picking up a question of Aileen, who was saying, like, so you're saying it is easier to use the Thai exchanges rather than the major exchanges such as Crypto.com or Binance. For example, the only option to transfer fiat from Thailand to Crypto.com is in euro. Jen, would you like to take this one?
So Eileen, I'm not too sure if Eileen is in Thailand. So if she's in Thailand and she's got a Thai bank account, she can go ahead and jump and become on board on the crypto exchange in Thailand. I think that would be a good start for beginners. With Binance, you can also do that as well. But with the fiat part, I'm not too sure if Binance actually facilitate the European side in terms of the bank integration. So yeah, I would say like start off with centralized exchange first. And if you're in Thailand, try with the one that if you have got a Thai bank account, obviously you can try with the centralized exchange. But for Binance, you might be able, what you can do is that you can actually start off, but you need to buy crypto from somewhere, right? You might be able to do it on credit card as well, certain places that you can. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you're in Thailand, I would say that start with the SEX, as in centralized exchange.
Okay. Okay, very good. Another question, have we talked about the premiums in the Thai market? So I'm not sure if the question is referring to the insurance sector or something that I missed here.
I think the person, I think that's Norton or Flynn. Flynn was talking about the premiums as in like, you know, there were cases in the past. If you buy Bitcoin in Korea, you have to pay more. Like it's more expensive in Korea. And recently in Thailand, it has become a place where, you know, if you wanted to sell Bitcoin, you have to sell it in Thailand because that's where the premiums are. That's where people want to pay a lot of money for that particular Bitcoin. So this, I've seen this as well. Maybe it also reflects the fact that Thai people become more enthusiastic within the space, and hence they just go market order, whatever people want to sell, I want to buy, right? So that's the premium phenomenon that Flynn was just talking about. Yeah, I've seen that, Flynn, and I think that's very interesting. It's good for the ecosystem, I think.
Okay. Maybe a question more for Max, possibly your future employee. Any suggestions to be a blockchain developer? I'm a college student in CS field, but there is no subject to teach about coding blockchain.
Yes, you're a very good question. And yes, so first, if you have in your university a computer science department, I suggest you start with that. If you want to start basically on your own, there is a very good first tool called Crypto Zombie. Actually, it was developed by a company in Thailand. And it's basically a course to teach you about Solidity. Solidity is the programming language used by Ethereum to develop smart contract and application there. It's very easy, very friendly. And if you want more material and training material, please contact me. I will give you my email address, and I can recommend you a lot of different materials. And if you want a small training, we'll be happy to give you one. So I will pass it on the chat, the name.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going a little bit up in the discussion. Someone who might have missed the application part was asking, like, is there any real application besides crypto to the blockchain? I mean, we talked about it already, but maybe we can get back on this point and elaborate a little bit. Max and Vincent, would you like to like deep dive a little bit more?
Well, to me, because we already discussed this, but let's say XRP that is used to settle international transaction between banks, international transfer with reduced cost, buying real estate, we can already,
for the real estate part, Vincent, do you have the knowledge of an actual transaction that took place already through cryptocurrencies?
Yes, I mean, you have to think of crypto like it was a medium of exchange.
Yeah,
so it's as long as the two parties agree on the value of the possibility to get paid on crypto, it works. But then for more technical, I will say real case with blockchain, I know that atato have some experience with tuna. It was one of the first things you did, if I remember.
In 2018. So now it was back in 2018. It was what we wanted to demonstrate, that actually blockchain could be integrated in a very traditional industry, and we decided to basically publish the records of the tuna catching on the public blockchain. So for everybody who is caring about sustainability, they could go online, scan a QR code on the can, and they could see a blockchain certificate about the origin and all the information related to the fish. And all those projects in supply chain, they are really interested, but they need to bring a return on investment for the companies that use it. So I think it's coming as well for people to understand what is blockchain, and I believe that one day a lot of things are going to be certified on blockchain, and blockchain is going to be a base layer for certification. I don't think we are there yet, so that's why we don't see much of those applications today. But it's coming. It's coming with people understanding what is blockchain and why is it important.
Okay. Maybe one last question, because I see we are approaching 8:30 p.m. So I have to admit, I don't understand at all this question. I found some gold pegged crypto. Has anyone found ones pegged to silver?
Yes, there is a gold pegged crypto, I think in Thailand and in Singapore, Digix. For silver, I think Digix is offering silver as well, but I'm not really sure. For people who don't know, it's basically pairing the price of gold with a token. So you can buy the token, you can exchange it easily, and you should check digix.io, I think, and they are based in Singapore. And I just would like to reply to, I think, Norton about cross-chain integration and the future. I think this is a topic for our next meetup. It's very technical, but just for, if I believe it's the future, yes, it's the future. Basically, today the blockchain don't really talk to each other. So you have Ethereum, you have Polkadot, you have many different Cardano. They don't talk to each other. So that's why people are choosing one instead of the other. But there is some solutions built at the moment which will enable to have information being exchanged between different blockchains. So it's technical. We can talk about it on another meetup. This one was very a general one.
Okay. Excellent. Any last words from the other panelists before we wrap up the event?
Jen, do you want to?
I think it's a very good meetup tonight. I really appreciate the good mix. It's not too technical. It's not too salesy. Like nobody's trying to sell anything. Basically, we just chit chat and share the ideas, and we just wanted to probably do this more and more. And I see that a lot of people are newbies and they're really interested of how to get into this crypto space. So definitely excited to see this sort of movement in the community. And I think we just need to do this more and more. And I think for myself, anyway, I'm going to pass on my LinkedIn page so that you guys can also stay connected with me as well. I'm quite busy, but I will get back to you guys if there are any things that I could help or anything that is sort of charitable work, like charity based. I sometimes will do work for free as well, provided that it comes with a good cause. So feel free to ping me on LinkedIn. Apart from that, I just wanted to say thank you to Maxime, Atato, and the team for keeping doing this you've done it for quite some time, right?
Yeah, since 2019 every month. So this meetup is every month, guys. We do technical ones for developers, and the next one is going to be actually the difference about Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, and Cardano. What are the advantages of those different chains? Today was really a general one because we talked with Etienne at La French Tech. We have a lot of new people in the crypto space. So it's very blurry for some of them. So we wanted to do something general. I hope you gain a lot of knowledge tonight. You had the right person, Vincent on the legal side, Jen on the exchange side. So hope it's a valuable time for you guys.
Sure.
Vincent, you have some last words?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really good to be able to talk about this and to see that this industry is still alive and growing faster. The really interesting fact is back in the day, 2017, 2018, when we will have an event for newbies in cryptosphere, we will start by explaining what is the blockchain, what is the blocks, how it works. And now, I mean, people are mature enough, and we can, even without going into too much details, we can have really interesting discussions because we all know what the blockchain is, what a cryptocurrency is, and what we can do with that. And just by this fact, we see how mentality and knowledge has evolved.
Yeah, and Etienne, I would like really to thank you and everybody at La French Tech. We are trying to promote the entrepreneurial and the French technology ecosystem in Thailand. Thanks for the work you are doing, and thanks for hosting this meetup. Very great to have you on board.
My pleasure. My pleasure. La French Tech is not specifically focused on blockchain or cryptocurrencies, by the way. For those of you who are generally interested to meet entrepreneurs and tech-minded people, we have regular live events in normal times. Please check our website. We have a brand new website that was designed beautifully by Pim Click, lafrenchtechbangkok.com. So we announce our events on a regular basis. We also have a page on Facebook and LinkedIn and everything. In a normal live event, I would invite everyone to have a beer and talk, continue discussion with the speakers. But for tonight, I guess everyone is going sadly to go back to their sofa and watch Netflix, so or to their computer for finishing their work. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending. Thank you to our speakers for their insights. Feel free to connect with them on LinkedIn. Once again, everyone is on LinkedIn. And see you soon.
Yeah, if I can just add, if you guys want to know about the topic of the meetups, it's on the meetup page, BKK Blockchain, Bangkok Blockchain Meetup, or you can go on Facebook, atato Facebook page or LinkedIn page. We mention all the subject in advance with the speakers. If you want to speak about your project as well, please reach out to me. We invite everybody. We are open. It's the purpose of cryptocurrency. Thanks a lot, Etienne, Jen, and Vincent tonight. Thanks a lot for people joining. We are more than 100. I think it's because the prices are going up. We'll see when the bear market is going to come, how much are still there. But it's great to see a lot of excitement in the space. And I really would like to thank everybody for joining tonight. So thanks again. I wish you everybody a good night and see you next month. Hopefully face-to-face this time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.